Okay, this is Roswell bathroom. It's kind of a mess in here. It's a very, very small area to work in, so I have a bunch of my tools spread out already. I've already kind of begun work on this, although I need to back up and say that I didn't do the tear out. So what you see is what you get. The customer apparently did the tear out on his own. There used to be a cast iron tub over here from back in the day. This is all lead pipe with steel flange on the toilet and all that stuff. And so this is basically day one coming in, and what I have to do first over here is a couple issues kind of happen. That's a little better. A couple issues kind of happen with regard to the plumbing. The customer actually wants, when you walk into the shower, oh, by the way, this will be a tub to shower conversion. So, as I said, he did all the tear out, took out all the tile that used to be on here, and then, of course, the tub is gone as also. So the shower fixture was on this wall, as is the case, you know, usually right next to the toilet is where the fixture is at, and then, of course, you have the shower head up there. And so, in this case, he wants a knee wall, so it's going to be a 3-foot knee wall going out, and then a 2-foot opening. And there'll be a door there eventually, or maybe not. But anyway, regardless, there's going to be a knee wall right here. And in order not to have to, walk in through this area, in order not to have to come in here and turn your shower on and then step back and wait for it to heat up, he wanted the shower valve on this wall so that you can physically just from here control your water temperature, and then when it's warm enough you can just step in, which is a good idea. Some customers have talked about wanting it done, but no one's been brave enough to do it because it does look funky. We're so used to the shower fixture being on the same side as the shower head. Anyway, I did not do this plumbing, nor would you ever see me do this type of plumbing for a couple of reasons. One, I don't use plastic pipe. You see the shark bite right there. So the plumber came in and transitioned from the copper in order to feed this shower head to this blue pipe, which they sell at Home Depot. I've seen it before. They have blue and red, and I think there's a white pipe also. It reminds me too much of polybutylene. The reason I don't like it, even though I like shark bites, and I trust those, I don't like all these connectors. And same with polybutylene, had connectors that were actually copper crimps, or clamps if you will. These have plastic. And I think those screw in. I'm not really sure because I don't work with it. But you've got a connector here, one here and here, here and here. Shark bite, you're okay. And then that's 2, 4, 6, right? Then you come over to this corner, and then you got 8, 10. So you got 2 more possible points of failure. Then you come up here, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. I don't know. I guess I'm old school. I would have done this with copper. I would have gone under the floor. I wouldn't have done it the way he did it. He notched out where the 2x4s are on both corners, and that's kind of sloppy. We're going to have to bump out this wall in order to bypass this pipe, but more to the point, this stack here, if you can tell, the stack actually comes out further than the 2x4. So for that reason alone, we're going to have to put 2x4s on here and kind of shim out this whole wall in order to bypass this cast iron stack, but then also because of these plastic pipes. I'm not feeling this plastic at all. As I said, it's not the way I would have done it. I would have gone with copper, but that's what their plumber did. So that's what I'm stuck with. Anyway, so he also did the transition from the cast iron pipe, the 1.5 inch, and he just went along 1.5 inch lines and went 1.5 inch, 1.5 inch to a 2-inch drain, which is kind of bizarre to me that he would do it that way. But that's what he did. What I normally do is, this is specifically meant for a 2-inch pipe, so I run a 2-inch pipe, and if I'm going to make the transition, which I have to 1.5 inch from a tub, then I do it as far to the main drain as I possibly can. So I would have a 2-inch P-trap going all along that way rather than 1.5 inch. But that's just me, and so I have to deal with what I deal with. He actually glued everything together ahead of time, so I had to cut it open because he didn't do this board. So I put down this board earlier to take up the difference on the hole. Then I have another board that I will set in place, which is already pre-cut and ready to go. So, yep, I'm one-handed, meaning I don't have a second pair of hands. Anyway, so that sets flush. That's the second board that sets flush with this. And the reason why is because they have half-inch subfloor, but then they also put a second layer of half-inch ply on top of that. For whatever reason they had to do that, but that's what they did. So in order to make these two floors flush, I had to put the second layer down. And so, as I said, I've already pre-cut it and everything for the drain. Anytime you put a shower drain in, this flange is tapered. You can tell the edge of here is tapered. That taper, well, in other words, the edge of this flange should be flush with your finished floor. Finished floor meaning the plywood. So you have to come in with Sawzall, or however you want to do it, and put a little taper to match this taper, so that when you set the drain in there, that you actually have, see there? Okay, so you actually have a flush drain flange with your floor. Many times I see that not done, and it's just something that, since I have everything out to show you, that I'll just go ahead and show you. Anyway, getting back to the job at hand. So this will be about a 3x5 shower with the 3-foot knee wall, 2-foot opening. The tile will go all the way up to the ceiling. Back here there's going to be a niche. In this case I'm not going to do the normal niches I do. That's usually in the middle here because of the stack. So the customer wants, between the studs, which should be 16 inches, he wants 24 going up, and then he wants it halved. So in other words, you're going to have a 12 by whatever this ends up being. It's supposed to be 12 also. 12 by 12 bottom with a centerpiece here for another shelf, and then 12 by 12 on the top. So it's going to be 24 from here down to here with a shelf in the middle, 2-shelf niche over on this side. So that's where that will be. It's going to have a mosaic design inside of that, and that same mosaic is going to be over here where the shower fixture is. So it's going to be a 24-inch by whatever this is, 16 or 15 or whatever, mosaic that'll be framed out to match the mosaic on the niche. And that's just for decorative reasons, and no other reason to do that. The field tile, which will go on the walls, actually which will go on the entire bathroom, is this 12 by 24 porcelain. So the 12 by 24 porcelain is actually going to get set staggered vertically. So in other words, there'll be half of that next to that, and then a full one, and then half and full one, and that will follow suit all the way up to the ceiling inside the shower. So it's a good, sturdy, durable tile. I like it. I think it's going to be easy to work with because it's, you know, it's a good quality tile that's going to be matching with all my grout lines. So that tile is going to go all the way up to the ceiling on that wall, on this wall as well, and on that wall. It will also encompass the entire knee wall, and then it will also go on the floor vertically this direction, and it will also go on the wall 42 inches up with some type of transition strip at the top, all the way around up to where the vanity is going to go. It'll stop. There's going to be that same mosaic type of tile that's going to be the backsplash for the vanity, going this way and that way. Then that same pattern going up the wall 42 inches will continue around to this wall and this wall. So that's what it'll be. Other than that, putting in a new vanity at the end, putting in a new toilet at the end, and that will be my part of this job. There is supposed to be a mosaic type of niche, if you will, where the medicine cabinet was, with the same type of shelf in the middle to put, I guess, makeup and different things on there. So if you can imagine an outside shower niche right here, that's what that will be also. So anyway, it is a small bathroom, but it is a lot of details, a lot of work, and this is going to take me just as long as a larger bathroom would because of the extensive nature of all the design features that I'll be doing. So I anticipate about 8 days on this from beginning to end, and this is day one. With me just getting started, I'm going to go ahead and put the curb in and build up the knee wall and get things going. Okay, this is about day 10, and this bathroom is finally finished. As I said in the very beginning, there were a lot of things in this bathroom. Even though it's an extremely small bathroom, there's a lot of things that are going on here that are a little different than what I normally do. So anyway, I'll start at the beginning. The aluminum transition strip, as I always do. These tile are 12 by 24, and my customer wanted them set vertical, so as opposed to horizontal. So that's the theme throughout. As you can see, going up the wall, about 42 inches or so, the tile goes up vertically, and all the way around this wall and all the way around this back wall, with the same transition strip sitting on the top all the way around. And then we have the mosaic for the backsplash. Mosaic is also on a vertical, as will be the theme in the shower. With the new vanity set in pretty easily. I had to do some readjusting of the plumbing to get it over. A little difficult to explain, but yeah, it took some time. And so the new vanity has 3 drawers, although I don't know what happened to the third one. I can't seem to find it around here. And then of course there's what I would call a niche, although that used to be the medicine cabinet. That is not my job. I think the painter that ended up painting these walls did that. So as you can see, the mosaic is also vertical in there, and he used the same what I call rope tile to kind of wrap it around. And so getting back over to the shower area, as you remember, this used to be a bathtub. When I came here, the bathtub was gone, as were the walls torn out all the way. So what the customer wanted was a knee wall at 42 inches, and the reason we picked 42 inches is because we realized that the outlet and the switch over here was right at about 43, 44 inches to the edge of it where the plate would go. So we used that as a marker, and using that as a marker, that's what the knee wall got built at, so that all the tile wraps around in one contiguous pattern. And again, for the edging there, used the same transition strip, and then at the end here did the same thing. So the tile came up to the door jamb. As I said, everything is vertical in here. It's a little hard to see. The only lighting in here are these 3 light bulbs, so it's a little dark in here, so pardon that. But anyway, so the tile, the same 12 by 23 or 24, goes up to the ceiling vertically. The customer also wanted this little mosaic design going around in his shower fixture. If you notice also, the shower fixture, the control is there and the shower head is over there. I've tried to get people to do that before. I think it's more convenient. This is the only customer who I've had who actually wanted it that way, so that when you step into the shower, you don't have to go all the way in and get, you know, cold water on you to start out with. You can actually turn it on here, wait for the hot to start coming out, and then you can step in. So anyway, that is kind of cool. The mosaic design actually replicates the niche that I did. So the niche is actually the 12 by 24 also, and 12 by 24 is the same as that. So if you can see, the 12 inches goes across and the 24 goes from top to bottom. And then he wanted a shelf in the middle, and so that's right at the 12-inch mark. And the shelf is actually the same tile. So I took one piece of tile and a second piece of tile at the bottom, so that if you ever look at the bottom, you're looking at the smooth surface of a tile. Those two got glued together, which is the perfect size for this rope, pencil rope, whatever you want to call it. And so, of course, the same rope got used to frame this out. And that is an exact replication as far as height and width as that is. So yeah, that's that. And then this is an interesting tile. These are 1 by 3 tile that's on a mat. And again, the vertical design follows this tile going up the wall, and of course right behind me as well. Very, very dark and hard to see, but this shower is about 2 feet and some inches, 2 feet maybe 4 inches, so it's kind of a narrow shower. And the reason it's narrow is I didn't do the plumbing. The plumber came in here before I got here, and he ran PEX lines, and so PEX is basically plastic lines from where the old tub fixture was, and he ran that into this wall. In addition, running into the wall, he was only maybe 4 or 5 inches off the ground, and so he notched out on these 2x4s a spot to go in there. Well, that kind of messed me up doing my pan and all that stuff. In addition to the fact that, if you remember, there's a stack right here, and the stack bumped out. So what I had to do is put a 2x4 all the way on every stud here. I had to put a 2x4, which bumped us out about 2.5 inches. And because of that 2.5 inches, we have a much narrow shower than we would normally have. So this is actually not the original wall. This got bumped out, as I said. So anyway, getting back to the shower itself, the width of the shower, as I said, is about 2.5, not even 2.5 feet, 2 feet and maybe 4 or 5 inches, with this narrow tile running vertically and a drain. The customer didn't want the drain set in the middle, which I'm able to do on a wood floor. Especially wood floor construction makes it easy for me to do that. The customer actually wanted the drain almost where it was when it was a tub, which meant that all this tile, you can't see it from here, but it kind of goes thin over here, and then it gets thicker and thicker and thicker because there's an obvious slope that goes down to feed this drain, and then the same slope is on the back end, so that everything works here the way it should. So, like I said, there's a lot of things that I don't normally do in here. There will be a panel of glass. Going up, I believe, to about where the shower head is, and then coming out to the edge of the wall. The customer has declined using a door because he doesn't think it's necessary, nor do I. Actually, there won't be a lot of splashback on here. This is about 5 foot. Obviously, a tub used to be here, so about 5 foot from front wall to back wall, and with a 2 foot opening and a 3 foot knee wall and a 3 foot panel. So that he should be good to go on that. I think the glass is coming in Wednesday, and then the painter has to come back in here and do some more painting and finish out his niche. So that's about it. So got a nice shower going on. Brand new sink, and a new toilet. The low flow, the number 1 and number 2 that I like so much. So that worked out pretty good. A little narrow spot than it used to be, but you know, it works. So there we go. And this bathroom is complete, and I am on to the next job. So I will back out of here, and this was a little different, but I enjoyed it.